It must be fun to. Is this your first television series?
It is.
It must be fun to have it being so successful.
Yeah, it's been really wild. I mean, the show has sort of gained success slowly, so that's been nice. But people actually ask me, like, what's the biggest difference between your life a few years ago and your life now? And I have a great example from a few nights ago after work, when I had sort of my Pam hair and makeup on, because I look a little different on the show.
Pam from the show.
Pam
right?
from the show, my character. I went to the grocery store to pick up some tapioca pudding for my husband and I for dessert. We just wanted some. I don't know. We had a hankering for the tapioca.
You don't need to be defensive about tapioca.
Okay, good. You're okay with the tapioca.
I'm fine with that, yes.
All right. So I went to the store and I couldn't find it. I wanted the ready-made kind, you know, because I wanted to eat it. I didn't want to make it. I wanted to eat it. And I asked the produce guy if he could help me find this tapioca pudding. And he sort of did this. He was like going to give me the brush off. He went like this. He went, yeah, I don't really know where the Oh! I don't know where the tapioca pudding is, but I will help you find it.
That's all you want, though, isn't it, in life?
Yeah.
That's about all you really need.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about your, not only on The Office, you're have directed one or two shows.
I directed this past week's episode.
Well, good. Congratulations. Was this your
Thank you.
first effort as a director?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
How was it? Was it good? Was it everything you wanted it to be?
Well, I'm an actor on the show as well, so the great thing about when you direct is that you can direct everybody else normally, and then when it comes to my own scenes, I'm like, I think we need to sweeten the lighting, and I can do my makeup any way that I want to. It's like a huge scam, basically.
And how did you get to direct? I mean, I think many people want to, not everybody gets to.
I have just been on the show for long enough, and I've written, you know, about 20 episodes at this point, and a lot of pleading and begging, I guess. But I love it. The one thing I was scared about when I was directing, though, is the thing that people probably think is really easy, which is saying action. Because you have to really be commanding, and if you say action too weakly, the actors think you're a wimp.
Right.
So I started being like, action, and I'd scream and like do an arm gesture like an umpire.
Yeah.
Like I was psyched.
Ooh, yeah, that's
good. Cut is even worse. Like you have to really like be theatrical about it.
Yeah.
So
well, let's hear cut.
I'd be like, cut, and I would do this like.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
Steve Carrell was like cool about it.
No, I think that's good.
Thank you.
Now, do you see yourself in equal interest pursuing both, or one or the other?
I think so. I mean, my hero is Woody Allen, who does everything extremely well. So but then you tell people that you want to be Woody Allen, and they're like, okay. So that's just between us.
Okay.
There's millions of people watching the show.
Cut!
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Boy, congratulations on your Office. How long has that show been on the air now?
18 years now.
18 years. It's a regular Gunsmoke, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I am Hoss.
That was Bonanza. It doesn't make any difference. But you know, as you know, like I'm telling you, that show was a tremendous success in England and then came to this country, and now you're taking the Ricky Gervais part. That must be some pressure there.
I've made it suck. I have taken what he did. It was his is such a definitive character, right. I think, and fairly iconic. And I didn't watch much at all of the original because I was intimidated by him because his characterization was so good. And after having seen it, I thought, this is a terrible, terrible idea for me to even undertake it. And it turns out that it was, because
wait a minute.
no, it's just not working out. No, if you watch the show, if you compare them side by side, I pale in comparison.
I think the show is fine. Just relax.
It is fun. Yeah. But not good.
No, it's...
It's fun for me to do, and I enjoy the money I'm making.
This is being televised.
Well, that's fine.
Did Ricky, I'm sure you talked with him at some point along the way. Did he give you any pointers, any advice?
He did. He said to try to make the rest of the cast laugh, you know, to sort of go off script and improvise and just keep everybody happy. And I haven't even done that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever made any of the other cast members laugh. Once.
I'm sorry to hear that. But yet the show's succeeding. It's remarkable, isn't it?
It's kind of against all odds.
Yes. Have you found that being on The Office now that people know you more than prior to this?
Yeah, I'm sure this happens to you a lot, but you go out and people think they know you because you're in their home every week and you're kind of small. You're not like on a big, movie screen. But the other day, actually, I was shopping with my friend Joey and I was trying on a dress and I came out and he said, "Oh yeah, I like that, that's really good." And this woman who just kind of like popped up in our group looks at me and goes, "It's not flattering." And my first instinct was to be like, "Oh, you're right, we should move." I don't even know you. How did you get here? My brain couldn't come up with a name for her, but besides that, I was all game.
I hear in your voice a little bit of a regional accent, I guess. Where is that? Am I right about it first?
Yes, you are right.
Where are we
Ding,
talking
ding.
about?
I'm from Archer City, Texas.
Oh, where is Archer City?
It's north of Dallas. It's a small town, like 1,600 people.
Is that where you were born?
No, I was born in Louisiana.
Born in Louisiana?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness, where in Louisiana?
Lafayette. But my family's like from the South.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't grow up there.
Right, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Indonesia.
Wow, you know what we need? we need an atlas and a magic marker.
I know.
Chart the various
Exactly.
places you've lived. What was life like in Indonesia?
Well, I moved there when I was 2, so I sort of thought everybody grew up there, but they don't. And like a lot of my friends had crazy animals as pets, like monkeys, lots of monkeys as
sure,
pets.
yeah.
Like Becky Dempster, she had a one-armed, she did. She had a one-armed gibbon. And
Those are the best, they really are. If you can get a one-armed gibbon,
if you can get a one-armed gibbon,
you're in the
get
Hall
it.
of Fame, sure.
But her family went nuts over this monkey. They built a huge atrium for it, and they had a big window and like a breakfast nook, so you could sit and eat and be like, "Look at the monkey, I'm eating breakfast."
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, but I got to go in the atrium. It was a big rite of passage or something. So I go in, and I was kidding around with Becky, and I shoved her playfully, and the monkey went berserk. Like jumped on me and started biting me, and I was hitting the monkey in the head, and the family was going, "Not the monkey!" And so anyway, it was bad. And then every time I went over to that house and I had breakfast at the breakfast nook, the monkey would swing by and pee on the window.
Ooh.
It was like his way of like,
Yeah, I had an uncle who did that. But now, was there ever any discussion as to how the poor monkey had lost his arm?
I think he hit a power line.
Oh, this is just perfect for the holidays. Now, you started your acting career not in Boston, but here in New York City.
Yeah, here in New York as a professional waiter. That's where it all starts.
Oh, good, sure.
Yeah, get out there. That's the acting lesson. And that was fun. It was a good time. There was actually a bunch of different restaurants, but the quickest one that I was in was 5 days. Wow. And it was Blue Smoke, which is a really nice restaurant.
Yeah, I think it was still
the
around.
Danny Meyer's
sure.
restaurant. Yeah. So that's pretty big deal. So I said, well, there's where the money is. I'm gonna make some money there. So I go to the bar just thinking all I need is a black T-shirt and that'll be it. And turns out that's not the case at all.
You were going to be the bartender.
Yeah, I was going to be the bartender.
Do you know about bartending?
Not at all.
Yeah.
No. I think I lied on my resume too, which is pretty bad. But they have this board of 100 drinks, and these drinks, it's not like beer and wine and soda. It's like Blue Hurricane Mist and Red Devil Face and like. What? And
yeah, exactly.
And each of the drinks had so many ingredients that began with like, okay, what you need to do is you need to grind a grapefruit peel, mix it with blood orange, then, and you're like, I'm done. I mean, really. So I had no chance. So what I did was I started making greyhounds for everybody.
Well, I don't know what a greyhound is.
A greyhound is grapefruit juice and vodka. Bang.
Sure, what
go.
could be wrong with that? That's it.
There you go, yeah.
That's all anybody wants.
And so, so when you order the Blue Hurricane Mist, I'd put blue curacao in. And put that in a twisty glass and send that down the bar. And after my 5-day training period, I was feeling pretty good. And the manager came over, she said, how do you feel? I said, pretty good. She goes, yeah, you're not gonna make it. So. And I said, yeah, I know. And she said, we've had fun, but this isn't gonna work out. And as she was firing me, no joke, at the bar, this woman, this like, older woman holds up one of the drinks and goes, this is delicious. I want another one of these. So
Exactly. Tell me about the office and its relationship with the actual city of Scranton.
Yes, it's pretty crazy. The office is set in Scranton, and the people of Scranton have gone mad. They've gone bazonkers.
Really?
They even now have an office convention every year in honor of The Office. It's like literally there are 2 TV shows with conventions, The Office and Star Trek.
You're an
And
excellent company.
it was crazy. They brought me there once. I didn't go to the convention, but they brought me there once, and I was treated like I was the Pope. I was the Beatles. It was.
Yeah.
I had a stretch Hummer limo and a 6 police car escort.
How big a town is Scranton?
I have no idea. There's, over 800 people.
Well, I think that's great, but it also gives you a lot of pressure to live
Yes.
up to because, you know, they're living through the show.
Yes, they are. They are. But I love the good people of Scranton, and they love our show. And I went to the mall, and there were like 3,000 people stretched around the mall and out the door.
Yeah.
And they actually gave me. People brought their babies for me to touch. It was crazy. The mayor.
To touch.
Well-
just touch my baby.
You know, like the Pope, you know, to bless them. To bless them. Dwight is like the Pope. But they gave me, I couldn't sign all the autographs, so they gave me a God mic, and I was speaking to all the people of the
Booming
mall in
around the mall,
Scranton.
yeah.
Such power, Dave.
Exactly.
It was like the One Ring in Lord of the Rings. I don't know if it's a power I want to wield again.
No.
You know, I could have told them all to jump on their swords. They would have done it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. But,
All right, you're getting to be a little too intense for me. So I have here something I couldn't help but notice. The Big Book of Jewish Humor, 25th anniversary. And tell us your relationship to this volume of
That's
Jewish
my
jokes.
father's book. This is William Novak, my dad.
Your father is a writer, and among this has written other kind of books. Tell us what other sort of thing
Well, he's primarily a ghostwriter. So he, when you see a celebrity autobiography on the shelves and it says with William Novak at the bottom, that's my dad.
Yeah, and for example, who has he worked with?
Well, he's worked with a lot of political people that weren't so much fun for me as a kid. Nancy Reagan, Tip O'Neill,
Kids
Lee
love
Iacocca.
Nancy Reagan.
Yeah, no kid is dying to meet Nancy Reagan.
Were there any that as a kid it was a big deal that your dad
There was
working?
one night where we were told, I was 12 years old, it was 1991, and we were told that a man my father was working with was invited to a dinner at Deepak Chopra's house in Western Massachusetts, and we were told that Michael Jackson was going to be at the dinner.
Wow.
And so we showed up to this home in Lincoln, Massachusetts. I'm in 8th grade, and we're kind of waiting around at the cocktail hour where kids have nothing to do, but hope Michael Jackson shows up.
Right.
And after about 45 minutes, a man just runs in a red military uniform and a black top hat and mirrored sunglasses, and sits behind a book on the Beatles, like a spy in an old-timey movie. And I thought, well, this has to be a Michael Jackson impersonator.
Yeah.
Because this isn't what Michael Jackson would ever wear on his day off.
Sure, no. Be in his civilian clothes.
You've got to wear jeans and, a polo shirt like my dad. But we sat down at dinner, and I was seated next to him, and there was no conversation for like 2 minutes straight. Everyone was just too shy. And then finally he says to me, "So do you like music?" Yeah. And I said, "Yeah," and I couldn't make this up. He pulls out of his jacket pocket, rather than just say, "I'm Michael Jackson," he pulls out of his coat pocket 3 CDs. They are Aerosmith's album Pump, the Beatles album Let It Be, and the Criss Cross album. And we were like, yeah, sure, we're impressed.
Right.
We were impressed already.
Yeah. And what did he do with the CDs? Did he
just
give them to
showed them.
Oh, he didn't give them to the...
No.
Wow. Now that's strange.
He was just showing off like how much he was into music. He had just gone to Tower Records.
Carry CDs with him.
Yeah.
Wherever he goes.
I couldn't make it up.
Yeah.
And then we played categories. And his category was N, and I was very impressed because in the game's categories you have to start a word in each category with a letter that's chosen. And he got a double word score under fictional characters for Nicholas Nickleby.
Wow.
So he's a Dickens reader. I was very impressed. I didn't know who that was at the time. It wasn't on my 8th grade list yet. And then when he won, he sang 2 a cappella bars of We Are the Champions. Absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
So there's no doubt now that it's Michael Jackson.
See, today you would have a phone or a device and you would take a picture and put it on the. But then your kids
There's no
just take your word
picture.
for
I didn't get an autograph,
Yeah.
and who would have believed me the next day at school?
Right.
I had dinner last night with Michael Jackson, and we played categories, and he won. Like, but I'm telling you now.
I don't believe you.
I know you don't.
Are you traveling now around the world promoting the film?
We are. We just went, we flew to France and Germany and England.
What's that like? Do they get the movie there?
They do. They get the movie, but they don't necessarily get us as performers.
Right.
They're, Mark Wahlberg is also in the movie, and he plays a security expert who goes shirtless the entire time. He's very buff, and he does not wear a shirt. He didn't put on a shirt between takes. He never put on a shirt. So this one German interviewer said, "How much do you hate Mark Wahlberg?" Like, I don't hate him at all. I think he's very nice. He did a great job. "You must hate him." "Why?" "Because he's so much better looking than you are." Like,
oh my.
Oh, well, no, I don't hate him, but really, how does that feel? And he kept pressing it. "You're very unattractive compared to him." And he just would not let up.
Yeah.
And then he started getting sort of sarcastic. "Are we going to ever see you without a shirt in a movie?" "That would be amusing." Like, come on.
I think this speaks volumes about the Germans.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is my point.
Yeah. When did you actually get an acting gig here in the city?
It was a while. My first job was for a DSW commercial, getting paid to do that, a designer shoe warehouse.
Oh.
And your fave.
I don't know much about it. Are they still in?
They are in business, yeah. And
I've never heard of the designer shoe warehouse.
I think there's one in Union Square, so you'll maybe go there sometime. You probably won't. You probably won't.
Everybody needs shoes.
Yeah, right. But but that was, I mean, growing up we did, I'm nervous, sorry.
Are you? You're fine.
Okay, thank you. We did a lot of plays and made a lot of videos growing up and stuff. So
when you say we, who are we talking
sorry,
about?
my younger sister Carrie and my best friend and next door neighbor Katie Purcell.
Oh, so you had the little video camera. Oh, that's great. I think that's terrific.
Well, just trying to like get going on that. That wasn't
it's
paid.
important also at that age, at a young age, you knew exactly what you wanted to be in life.
Yeah, well, you know, that's interesting. Yes, yes, it was something to do.
Maybe I've made more of it than needs to be made. I don't know. But we have one of these videotapes here. We're going to show this now. Do you know which one this is? Which one
it's called The Man Under the Stairs, and the plot, it's about a man under the stairs.
Right.
And
is it like a comedy, a horror?
It is a horror movie. It's probably, if you're scared, if you get scared easily, just know, be prepared. It's a horror movie.
Okay. And when we see you in this video, how old are Carrie?
I'm 12,
12
and
years old.
my sister Carrie is 8.
Okay, let's take a look here. It's called Man Under the Stairs. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Come on. Oh, that's so
Come
nice.
on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic. And congratulations. Speaking of nominations, once again, going to the Emmy Awards nominated. How many? You got like 19 awards or something like that nominated? That's exciting. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Something like 19. Yeah.
Do you like going to those things?
Oh yeah, I love going to the Emmys. I mean, because our show isn't like that glamorous or anything. So when we get to get dressed up, it's like especially exciting. And I've always been obsessed with Jennifer Lopez. Like since when she first like got into the scene, I think her body's like so slamming, and like whenever she's on the red carpet, it's totally slamming. You should tell her that if you ever see her.
I'll pass that along.
And I saw her on the red carpet, and weirdly, I don't know how this got mixed up, but she was like in front of me on the red carpet. And she, like, when she poses and everything, it's like the opposite of me, which is like, I look like right into the camera, like totally like a total amateur. But she never smiles, and she's always like looking like she like kind of hates everybody, but is sexy anyway. Sure. And like, I didn't think I was totally like scoping her like a stalker, and she looked over her shoulder and she was like, "Nice dress." And I was like, "You're talking about my dress? Jennifer Lopez has actually noticed me."
Nice.
And I blurted out, "I like your dress too." And Dave.
That's all it takes.
Dave, it was so embarrassing because her reaction in her eyes was just like, oh, no, this conversation is over. This was about you going and telling all your friends that Jennifer Lopez liked your dress. This is not about me telling Mark Anthony that a tertiary character in The Office thought her dress was cool. She's like, I know my dress is good.
Tell me about your kids. 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, is that
7
about
and
right?
10, yeah. And it's the first summer in a while we've been able to spend a lot of time together because of, I'm now not on the Office anymore.
By the way, how is that going? You don't know yet how it's going, do you?
I don't. Well, I know James Spader is coming in,
Right.
and I think that's a great move. I think he's going to be fantastic. And I've been in touch with cast members, and they're excited about going.
But you're still in the rhythm of you might go back at the end of your break, but you haven't gone back yet.
Yeah, you sort of feel like, wow, everybody else is going back to school, and I've graduated, and it's a little bit odd because I know everybody. I'm going to miss my friends. That's the main thing.
But weren't you tired of carrying that dog?
Yeah. You know what? Now that you say that, screw that show. What did that show ever do for me?
That's right.
I have a movie coming out. What could possibly go wrong?
Back to the Office. Steve Carrell, going to be there? Not going to be there in the finale.
No, we would have loved to have Steve on the show.
Well, he was there. I think you're fibbing about this.
No, he came to set. There was like a big rumor going around that he was on set. And it's like, yes, we are actually friends, and he doesn't live in space. He came to visit us on our last.
But
3 days.
why? I mean, that's a pretty strong hint. Here I am, last show. Anything?
Yeah, and we just turned all the cameras away from him and went, no, we gave you a really good goodbye. Thanks.
I kind of like that, honestly. I think that takes courage. But then, I'm told that there's a big parade and celebration and sort of a gala in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
There was. Were they there? That's amazing.
The place of the
That's
setting.
all who was there, by the way, just them. It was.
The Office takes place in Scranton.
It does, yeah. So we actually decided to have our big final wrap party in Scranton, and without a doubt, the most surreal moment of my life.
Was there a parade?
There was a very legitimate parade with over 10,000 people.
No, you say legitimate. When you say legitimate, what is that? You had a permit and everything? Is that what it is?
We had cops, and we were in cars.
Kids, don't get yourself involved with an illegitimate parade. That's all I can say. Take it from John Krasinski.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see a picture. We got a thing here. This is you and, oh my gosh, look at that. Jenna Fischer, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're swarmed, surrounded by people. Now, did Steve Carrell show up for this?
He did.
He shows up everywhere, doesn't he? Let me see the next
Just
one.
begging to be back on the show.
There he is right there. Now, what was this? This is a Q&A about the show?
Why am I looking directly into the lens of that camera? How did I find that photographer? He showed up. There was a big surprise. We had an extra seat, and our showrunner Greg Daniels said, "What's the extra seat for?" And they introduced Steve, and I've never heard a sound like it. It sounded like a jet engine.
Really?
Right here, though.
People.
Yeah, we were at
crazy.
a baseball stadium, and he came out, and people went bananas. A lot more bananas than they do for the Yankees. Still got it. Go Red Sox!
Yeah, you are.
Sorry about
you
that.
are on fire.
In my one-man show for myself.